morning, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, November 6th. Our top stories for the day. Wes is going to tell us all about the Mexican cartel that killed some American women and children.
Yeah, this is not a fun one. Not going to attempt to make it fun.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it. Women and
No.
children getting murdered.
No.
Insanely unfun, but it's like it's a crazy, crazy story.
Yes.
Pat's going to take us back to the impeachment update. We had a flip-flop. Looks like we got some confirmed quid pro quo.
Yeah, some are saying. Maybe this little quid pro
Again?
quo. Some are saying. Some are saying.
Pretty
This
sure
time-
everyone knows.
This time it's for sure.
Yeah, it's like quid pro quo, too. This time, it's for serious.
Exactly. And then Mark and I will take us through a news buffet of other headlines. Get us going, Wes.
All right, I really do not want to be covering this story, but it's the biggest news of the day, and it just fucking sucks. So some pieces of shit affiliated with the Mexican cartels decided to ambush and accidentally, I say that in quotes, open fire on a convoy of 17 Mormon women and children who were traveling back to the U.S. from their religious community in La Mora, Mexico, which is only 70 miles south of the U.S.-Mexico border at Douglas, Arizona.
So is this the same Mormon community that has fortified its essentially neighborhood and defends against the cartels?
I don't know. They
What? That exists?
Oh, yeah, the Mormons have been there a long, long time, and the police can't help them. So there's a community where they have, like, literally turrets on the top of the hills outside their neighborhood.
I think it is, Pat, because I heard reports that this family had been attacked before.
Well,
Yes.
then this doesn't sound as surprising.
They're not affiliated with the Mormon Church. Actually, they're like an offshoot of the Church of Latter-day Saints. But
They've been
yeah.
beefing with the cartel. Why would they do that?
Well, they
no
just
idea.
defend themselves because the Mexican police can't help them.
Yeah,
Well, why does the cartel want a piece of them? Because they're spewing their Mormonism a little bit?
Mormonism is confusing. I don't know.
They're
Right.
against the cartels.
Okay.
They've outwardly said they're against them, and they've been there for decades. So the group was traveling in a convoy of 3 SUVs when gang members opened fire on them, apparently thinking they were killing rival gang members, but nope.
Well, it kind of sounds like it.
Yeah. Instead, they killed 3
In a
women.
way, maybe, right?
No, they were just defending themselves.
Okay.
What?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
With,
instead,
I'd imagine the women were unarmed, right? Or
Well, the
were
women and
they?
children, no. Yeah, they're complete civilians.
they were probably
obviously.
singing "Kumbaya" when all this shit happened.
Right.
That's so
That's
fucking
not a Mormon
horrible.
song.
Yeah. So instead, they killed 3 women and 6 children and wounded 6 other kids.
Fuck.
It was a massacre. Among
Massacre,
the
yeah.
dead were 2 8-month-old babies,
Come on.
Jesus
a 2-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
It's
along
fucked
with
up.
The 3 mothers of those children who were no doubt attempting to shield their children as gunfire lit up their vehicles relentlessly and viciously. The aftermath pics of the vehicles are disturbing, knowing that women and children were inside them.
The dad took a video, and I almost tweeted it out, but I didn't because it
Why-
was so fucked up. But
why
he
would you?
said this is for the record, and he took a video, and you could see burnt up bodies inside.
It's
Just
terrible.
insane.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good call holding back on that one, Will.
Yes. So luckily, some 8 children escaped and are either unharmed or getting treatment for bullet wounds, one walking all the way back to the religious community many miles away. This is not, as Will mentioned, the first run-in with the cartels for this family, the Le Barons. 10 years ago, 2 members of the family were kidnapped and killed for outwardly opposing the cartels. So, you know,
Why aren't they in Utah?
I don't know.
lot of. I think it's. There was religious freedom in Mexico back in the day. That's why.
Yeah, they went there before the cartel bullshit. They've been there for decades, and it's just gotten really bad. And
It's polygamy. It's polygamy based.
Right,
Ah.
Yeah.
Freedom. They need freedom to
I didn't
practice.
Between the lines here.
I
Right,
didn't pick it up.
Yeah. Freedom.
Lots
To
of-
fuck
lots of
anyone
kids.
I want.
So,
all the wives.
Yeah. Mexican authorities have detained 3 pieces of shit who may be responsible for the massacre against the U.S. and Mexican citizens because they were born in Mexico. And hopefully they are brought to swift and painful justice, either down there or up here.
Oh yeah, that'll happen. Like what happened with what's his name, El Chapo's son?
Yeah.
Like they just arrested him and then his
Yeah,
brother came out and
released him
killed all the
immediately.
police.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cartel is gonna not get. They're gonna get away with it. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna get away with it.
It's
Well,
bad.
this time, though, they have Trump. Trump's making some noise, right?
Yes, he is, absolutely. First, I'll read you a quote from the town's governor, Claudia Pavlovich, saying, "As a mother, I feel courage, repudiation, and deep pain for what cowards did in the mountains between Sonora and Chihuahua. I don't know what kind of monsters dare to hurt women and children. As
cartel.
governor, I will do everything to make sure
Right.
that this does not go unpunished. and those responsible pay. And like Will said, President Trump got on Twitter to say, wonder if a family and friends from Utah got caught between two vicious drug cartels who were shooting at each other, with the result being many great American people killed, including young children and some missing. If Mexico needs or requests help in cleaning out these monsters, the United States stands ready, willing and able to get involved and do the job quickly and effectively. The great new president of Mexico has made this a big issue, but the cartels have become so large and powerful that you sometimes need an army to defeat an army. This is the time for Mexico, with the help of the United States, to wage war on the drug cartels and wipe them off the face of the earth. We merely await a call from your great new president.
Whoa.
Yeah. So how violent is Mexico? It's pretty fucking violent. Seems we know it is, but here's a fact. According to one study in 2018 alone, there were over 35,000 murders. That is more than double the U.S. by a few thousand, and we have almost 200 million more people than they do.
We're pretty good at getting our murder numbers up, too, so.
Yeah, we are good at that.
That's impressive.
Hot dogs,
Not comparatively.
murder numbers.
Yeah. They have around 100 murders per day in
Reality
Mexico,
TV.
which is
100 murders a day in Mexico.
Crazy. So will Trump send in troops to take care of these motherfuckers? I guess we will see. Hopefully this is the mistake that breaks the cartels up a bit. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family. It's
Usually it's just the cartels versus cartels, though. This is odd. It seems like
That's horrible.
Most of Mexico's pretty safe. Obviously, we've all been to Mexico, but if you stay out of the cartel's business, you're usually going to be pretty safe. This seems like we still need to figure out if it's like Trump says, it's a family in Utah vacationing, caught in the crossfires of two rival gangs, or if it's more to the story like this Mormon family that's just been like in the prime real estate of the cartel's time.
No.
Yeah.
it sounds
Well,
like
it's still
they-
horrible. I mean, they killed
Well,
women
of
and
course
children.
It's horrible.
You got to react somehow.
But if it's the family that's been living there for a while and has machine gun turrets, it's time to go back to Utah.
Yes.
They
so-
can't marry all the women they want to
Okay.
marry in Utah.
Well,
We went over this.
better than
Right.
getting
Utah
murdered.
doesn't allow polygamy anymore, I don't
It's better
think.
than getting murdered. You can secretly polygamy.
It's true.
What's a marriage if not public?
Okay.
Let's take it to everyone's favorite topic, guys. That's right, impeachment update time.
Again.
Again, but this time it's different.
I'd rather talk about the murders.
Come on. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. So the House committees overseeing the impeachment inquiry dropped some fresh, hot transcripts that maybe confirm quid pro quo yesterday. Yeah, the scripts were from the testimony of the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, and Kurt Volker, who's the former U.S.
Good name.
special envoy to Ukraine. It is a great name. So these foreign boys were deposed in a closed-door session last month, but on Monday, Sondland amended his testimony, adding that he had communicated a quid pro quo to a Ukraine official linking military aid for Ukraine that was delayed by the United States in exchange for a public statement from Ukraine committing to the investigations
Of the Bidens.
of the Bidens, essentially. Yes.
Right.
He amended it to saying there was a quid pro
Yeah,
quo.
that-
Correct?
Yes.
He didn't at first, and now he's saying, you know what? On second thought, there was definitely quid pro quo.
Right. So why would he do that?
Yes.
Why would he?
Because there was
To avoid
obviously
lying?
quid pro quo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that.
Maybe he went home and his wife was like, "Did you tell him everything?" Well, okay, he did change his testimony, and he effectively confirmed a high crime and misdemeanor potentially. And apparently, he did this after reading the statements of another witness. He read some other statements, and he remembered a conversation he had with Andrea Yermak.
This guy's making me look bad.
Yeah, an advisor to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. So he's like, I read something, and I did have a conversation quid pro quoing. He said, quote, I said that the resumption of U.S. aid would likely not occur until Ukraine provided the public anti-corruption statement that we've been discussing for many weeks. So what's the anti-corruption statement? It's a statement detailed in both of these guys' depositions that the Trump envoys were pushing for Ukrainian officials to open a public investigation into Burisma, the Hunter Biden boarded gas company. So essentially they wanted the Ukraine to come out and be like, we're investigating these cats, they're corrupt, the gas companies. But the motivation for why they would have done that is interesting. So Ukraine wanted that sweet aid money. Essentially, there was a quid pro quo. So they jumped right on it. And Monica Zelensky's top aide gave Volker, one of these people that were deposed, a draft of the anti-corruption statement, which they showed to Rudolph Giuliani. and Giuliani did not like the statement because it didn't directly mention the gas company or the 2016 election. So, quick side note, Trump believes a debunked theory that Ukraine attempted to take him down during the 2016 election. So that's part of this. He thinks that's the case. Anyway, so Rudy made some edits to the statement.
Well, if they knew Russia was trying to pump them up, Ukraine and Russia,
They're not homies.
That makes sense to me.
Not homies. Anyway, so Rudy made some
But
edits.
obviously, they also lose to Russia all
They
the time.
lose to Russia all the
So
time.
That
Well,
also makes sense to me.
Yeah, they got a tough beat. Former USSR. Anyway, Giuliani made some edits to the statement of the draft and then sent them back over to the Ukrainian president via Volker, which is probably illegal. Volker then made it very clear what Giuliani's intentions were, and here's really where it kind of gets black and white. So Volker was asked if Giuliani's desire for the Ukrainian government to investigate Burisma, the gas company, had to do with Burisma's criminal conduct and money laundering and was not at all in connection with investigating either Joe or Hunter Biden. And Volker responded, no, I believe that Giuliani was interested in Biden, specifically Vice President Biden's son, and I pushed back on that. I was maintaining that distinction, to which the committee said, so you're maintaining the distinction that because you understood that the whole theory, the 2016 meddling theory, had been debunked, and there was no evidence to support it, the only reason Giuliani would have been wanting this is to investigate the Bidens, and he said, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't surprising at all.
Right.
This is like the third or fourth person that's come forward. There's two whistleblowers. The woman came forward.
This
Someone
is a
else
little
came
bit
forward.
different.
Sort of. I mean, bottom line is unless it gets switched to treason, it doesn't make a difference. He's going to get impeached at some point. It's not going to be in 2019.
Yeah.
It's not going to be removal from office. It has to switch to treason. There could be 6, 7 more of these people that come forward. Some people might fall on the sword, like a Giuliani or something, but President Trump will not be removed from office.
And it has to be
over
something
quid pro quo.
more. It has to be something more than just investigating what was a previous shady move by our executive branch.
Did Donald
Right.
Trump tell them to absolutely investigate Joe Biden or he'd withhold? Of course he did.
Well, the thing
Of course he fucking did. Everyone knows this.
Trump's defense, or the team defense, is that Ukraine didn't know about the aid, so there couldn't be quid pro quo. I'm just saying what their side is saying.
I don't even know how it would flip to treason. I don't think it's. I think 7, 8 more of these people can come forward.
They got
Regardless
told
of
they weren't
that, like, I mean, it's just
nothing's gonna come of this.
just too messy. It's not a good enough. It's not a good enough charge
Let's take it to the internet
for
real quick.
removal.
So our boy Clutch Driven says the entire Democratic Party is quid pro quo.
Got him.
I like.
A lot of people are quid pro quo these days.
And then Real Woke Dale, registered trademark, says even if true, Trump was just doing his job. I want to know if Biden and his son are entangled with Ukraine. No federal laws have been violated by Trump.
And there it is right there. I mean, there it is right there. Like that's the mindset of a lot of people.
Real Woke Dale.
Real Woke Dale.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I already mentioned the predicted markets on impeachment, but guess what, guys? Well, the Kentucky gubernatorial race is in the books, and like we predicted earlier this week or late last week, it was a close race. The favorite was 7% or greater to win.
That was such bullshit.
And that was a crock of shit. We called that pretty easily.
For the guy that looks like he's going to lose outright.
Well, it's like, right. It's like a 0.5%.
It's the margin of victory on either side.
Right. On either side, it was the margin of victory, period.
Yeah.
And the favorite at the time when we were talking about it was 7% or higher, and it's within 1%. So that wasn't correct. We were correct. You too can predict things like the gubernatorial races and then put your money where your mouth is, or just listen to our bets and put your money where our mouth is by simply signing up to the premier gambling site for the news. Predict It at www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. And if you do that, you will receive a free $20 if you deposit at least $20. Predicted is completely legal in all 50 states. You can use a fucking debit card to sign up, and it's completely fun. Kentucky is over, but hundreds of markets are available, like Joe Biden to win Nevada, which right now would only cost you 27 cents a share.
And he's leading in the polls.
Right. Creepy Joe's 27 cents a share. He's leading. You can buy a lot of Creepy Joe shares at a fairly low cost there. Look, Nevada likes creepy men that smell on women. It's basically the whole premise of the state. That's true. Biden's winning there easy. Lock it down. That's www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Hundreds of our listeners have signed up. Don't be left behind. There's a huge debate coming up in a few weeks that is going to have all sorts of gambling around it from us and our live stream. So sign up now.
Damn, that Biden's more than a triple up. That's a good.
It's a more than triple
Good
up.
one.
Yeah, it's a
He's
good
winning
odd.
Nevada.
I'm gonna get on that.
What do you do if you're a parent and your kid comes home and it's like, oh, my friends are coming over tonight. I got Landon, I got David, and Creepy Joe. What do you do?
You
You think kids are nicknamed Creepy
Yeah,
Joe?
totally.
You
Absolutely.
think Joe was sniffing hair like of moms
Yeah.
Stealing
at like
Mac.
houses he went over to?
Stealing Max.
Creepy Joe is always like, "Is your sister around? Is your older sister here?"
Yeah,
Touchy
right.
Devin.
Or
He's
you're-
always, he's always like in the shower, like waiting for. Yeah, okay, all right.
Creepy Joe's something else. Also,
Strangling
another thing.
Steve.
Before we move
closet.
on, another thing I learned on Predicted Tonight is that you can sort markets by what's expiring. So if you want to
Nice.
get on the hottest action that's about to close soon,
nice.
sort it by what's expiring. That your bet you'll see the outcome the
AKA,
quickest.
if you have no patience like any of us,
Right,
you
like
wanna market
all
as closing.
gamblers
Just want the
everywhere.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take it over to the news buffet. All right, first up, we got it's official. On Monday, Mike Pompeo affirmed that the Trump administration is formally withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement. So sorry, Pat.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Makes total sense.
No word.
Right.
Burn it
Pom-
down.
Pompeo says they need new terms and a quote more realistic and pragmatic model, unquote. So what's new? I mean, Trump and Pompeo pushing for new terms on a deal.
They
That's
just don't want to
pretty
deal with
much
it at all.
You just kind of let that one
Yeah.
go, in my opinion.
They're
Now
like-
is not the time for negotiating.
Guys, girls listening, it's going to be a different administration that cares about climate.
Yeah, not this
It's
one.
not going to be this one.
So just take a break, stop recycling.
Just calm down. Yeah,
Also-
do your own part, but it's not going to be this administration.
Not only the next executive administration, but 25 governors currently in office immediately announced that they would still uphold the Paris Climate Accord in their own states. So it's really only a halfway withdrawal. More than half the population of the country is still going to abide by the agreement. So
There you go.
anyways, that's just all fun and games compared to this next story about climate or environment and human emissions. Recent reports out of New Delhi, India, is that the smog is so thick that they've had to cancel flights, work, school, just about everything to try and survive the seasonal smog that settles in the city every year when the weather becomes cooler. So
That's alarming.
listen how bad this smog is. The city is home to about 20 million people, which is fucking huge. And their air pollutant level is double what the World Health Organization classifies as hazardous. So double the worst possible situation.
They stopped classifying 100% prior to this ranking.
It's like
Right.
being inside of the hard factor garage all the time.
Right.
The estimation I saw is that living a day in New Delhi is the equivalent to smoking 50 cigs in a day.
That's what it's like.
Just breathing the air. Yeah.
That's not
so,
great.
yeah.
2.5 packs.
Yeah, what's leading to it is that they love their cars, coal burning plants, construction projects, and burning their crops to get ready for the next growing season, and fireworks, of course, just like anybody else. But the problem is that there's a ton of these motherfuckers. And then when the cold air comes in, it traps all that fucking smog and it just becomes suffocating for the entire city. So
You ever notice how whenever they're talking about like what's causing pollution, they always sneak something in there that has nothing to do with
Fireworks.
it? Like fireworks.
Yeah.
But is this similar to what happens in China with the smog?
no, for real, because Diwali just happened, so there's like tons of fireworks smog.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of badass. If your air quality is reduced because you're lighting off too many fucking fireworks,
it would be
I'm in.
cool for like 6 hours after a holiday. It's not cool for a season.
It's just
No, it's
every day's a
terrible.
celebration
Yeah,
there,
a
man.
week. No.
Season of death.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
people
China
are just
similar?
dying.
Is China similar because there's just too many people?
I think that this is a combination of intense pollution plus like weather conditions that trap it. So
It's like
probably a little
growing
bit
like
different.
fine wine, but they're just killing people.
I mean, you get too many people in a close proximity. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean it's scary times. It basically like the city is shut down because the smog is just so bad. So they have to do something about it. Hope that New Delhi, the people of India, New Delhi, can figure out what to do because it sounds fucking horrific. Like gonna be some bad.
Get ready to see a lot more of those masks on planes.
Yes.
All right, guys. Barstool is proud to be working with Movember to raise funds and awareness for men's health. So Movember is the leading charity dedicated to changing the face of men's health all around the world. And this Movember, whatever mustache you grow will save a
Now,
bro.
do they call it mustaches?
Yeah, I think the O
I
is.
think they call it mustaches.
Yeah.
I think we've been reading it wrong.
Whatever mustache you grow will save a bro. Also, ladies, you can participate too. So just skip the wax this month, save some dough while saving a bro.
Don't do that.
Yeah, your support will change the face of men's health, raising awareness and funds for prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. This year, Barstool's own Donnie Dez, the Wonton Don, is growing out his mo to save a bro.
He's got a great mustache.
Yeah,
He
join.
can grow a good one.
It's strong.
Yeah.
Join him on the Barstool Movember team and help us change the face of men's health. For every $50 that you fundraise on our team, you get an entry to win a trip for two to join us at the Army Navy Live College Football Show in December. Head to Movember.com/Barstool to join our team, grow your mustache, and fundraise for your chance to win the grand prize.
Hard Factor Zone Asian correspondent. Hey, how are you?
Donnie.
Hey, how are you? How's it going?
All right, guys. Surprise, surprise. I have a Jeffrey Epstein update for you. This guy is so evil that his death was just the beginning of the horrible stories. He's like the opposite of a talented, struggling painter in death. Just like losing money, bad things happening. When a struggling painter dies, they sell their paintings. Good things happen to the estate, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Get the analogy?
It's a stretch, but it's in.
Okay.
It's in.
it's like Bizarro JFK.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sure. Struggling painter, JFK, same thing. You guys might want to sit down for this one, though, because it turns out that ABC, the major cable network, might have killed a story on Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew's relationship.
I don't believe it.
And wait, it gets even more shocking. It was at the pressure of the royal family of England to kill the story.
Come on, you're talking about powerful people influencing media to serve their own needs?
I heard he had a team just covering up their relationship like 24 hours a day.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're the
They could have a team
when you're
getting
the
him to,
Duke of York.
getting him to therapy to not bang teenagers.
This is what we call in the biz a little bit of catch and kill going on here. Something you'll hear more about next week when we discuss the Ronan Farrow novel Catch and Kill with Barstool Riggs. But this particular story, what happened was leaked footage was released of ABC's Amy Robach in 2015, where she is seen and heard in the clip like venting. She's like that her interview was with an alleged victim of Epstein and Prince Andrew's never made it to the air. That victim was Virginia Guffrey, by the way. She said that palace found out. The palace found out, she said, and threatened us a million different ways, so we can't do the story.
Why the fuck do we care in the United States of America, the American Broadcasting Corporation? Why the
Where
fuck
was,
do we care
where
about
was
the
this
palace?
footage for the past 4 years?
Why the fuck do we care what the Queen
Well,
said?
also, you think that the Clintons or the Trumps wanted to let that? I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't want Epstein's
trickle
knowledge.
down.
But all the BCs are fucking up. ABC caught and killed this story. NBC killed
the
Ronan
BCs.
Farrow's story.
We'll talk about this when we talk about Ronan Farrow's book, but honestly, the National Enquirer, Trump's homie,
Right.
has
Playboy.
a vault of stories that they buy so they don't get out.
All these major broadcasting companies are pieces of shit. Guffrey has claimed for years that she was abused by Epstein and was ordered to have sex with powerful men, including Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. In court documents, she said she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew on 3 separate occasions while she was under the legal age of consent. Prince Andrew, by the way, is the Queen of England's son. So let's keep those Epstein didn't kill himself memes going, people.
You know what sucks the most about
Yeah,
that?
keep 'em flying.
Andrew could fuck anyone.
Right,
Why
exactly.
He can fuck anyone. He's a fucking prince.
But he wants to go with his billionaire buddies and have sex with 16-year-old
Yeah.
women that don't want to have sex with them at their coke parties. That's why.
But he's
So
a
when
pedophile.
when
He's
he
a
was
pedophile.
when Epstein was murdered, because I think that we're all just going to be on that train,
Oh,
right?
he was
so
absolutely fucking murdered.
who do you think had to like press the green button? You know, who like
Oh, it was just like, it was like, you know.
it was Bill Clinton.
It was 13 billionaires that had to sign up to turn a key, and all 13
right?
keys turned the
Well,
right
you have
direction.
the RNC, the DNC,
Everyone went right.
right? The entire royal family of England. All 3 entities wanted him gone. So
It was unanimous.
Got a little advice for any aspiring millionaire or billionaires out there, guys. So, yeah, when you get there, when you make that cash, what you don't want to do is spend your time, energy, and effort getting dirt on people that are richer than you and
No.
who run the world. Like
You want to
sex
hang out with
tapes and
people
things.
less powerful
Yeah, that's
than
what
you,
you
not
wanna do.
more powerful than
Yeah.
you. All right.
Might die.
yeah. Oof. Don't want to be Epstein. Don't. That's a good lesson. Don't be Epstein.
Pro tip.
Okay. All right. Taking it over to a quick tech corner. That's my tech sound effect.
Nice.
This is a robot?
Yeah.
That was like Terminator.
Exactly. It was the rise. It was the machine lords rising. AT&T. They've been sued for throttling speeds. The Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, has ruled that the telecom giant AT&T needs to pay out $60 million in damages for illegally throttling "quote unquote" unlimited cell phone customer plans and their connection speeds, dating back to 2014. So
Were they the same people that were throttling the firefighters?
that was Verizon.
that
So
was
everybody,
Verizon.
everybody throttles.
Sorry, AT&T.
60 million for AT&T is like less than a half a penny.
It's
Right,
they're
exactly.
literally a nickel
It's-
in my pocket.
That's their
Less.
monthly lobbying budget in Texas.
That's what they write off.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a hilariously small amount, so I'm sure it'll get them to stop throttling for good, right? You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just unreal. So the FTC, big pro business decision there.
Clearly, they made
right.
probably 100 times that in throttling.
Right, exactly. So AT&T is very happy with the FTC. In another pro-business move, the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, has approved the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint, creating another cell phone juggernaut that can take on Verizon and AT&T as the other two, like, two heads of the three-headed dog from hell, where you have to get your cell phone plan from now in the U.S.
So the two shitty affordable ones are now going to become a non-affordable one.
Exactly. Yeah. So now you have to deal with the dog one of the three ways.
Sprint's still around.
The Cerberus of cell phones.
Pretty much
Exactly.
the only reason to get T-Mobile is like the only pro is like you get like free Wi-Fi on a Delta flight. That's about it. Other than that, you
the
got
CEO tweets you out thanks.
yeah. When you get a T-Mobile bill, you
quirky
hide it.
CEO.
Yeah.
If a girl comes over, you hide your T-Mobile bill.
Yeah.
You don't have T-Mobile. I got it.
Internet porn's always
Didn't Radio
buffering.
Shack turn into like T-Mobile, like just stores overnight?
Yeah, right. Didn't it?
It's weird.
Or like Circuit City. I forget. Anyways, they say that this T-Mobile T-Mobile Sprint merger will help them get to 5G faster.
Well,
so
sure, but
that's what they say.
I'll get my 5G from AT&T.
it's going to help people lose 5Gs faster, too. And
Right.
lastly, beaches on the Hawaiian island of Maui were closed for the second straight day Tuesday after several tiger sharks were spotted in the water. Some were 300 yards out, some were 100 yards out. No deaths were reported. I feel real bad for the tourists and residents of Maui who are currently in fucking Maui in November. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thank you so much for listening. You're probably not listening if you're in Maui because you're having a really good time in November in Maui. What do we got coming up, guys? Anything?
Debate
Bio
show
shirts.
soon. We got a
debate
debate
show's
show
like
soon.
November 20th. We got the new shirt.
Good boy
the
shirt.
Good Boy shirt.
Good boy shirt.
Go check it
good
out.
Good boy.
Around the hills, still going strong.
Please
Check
check out.
Rankin.
Please check out Around the Hill. It's our new video
It's
series.
our new video series. Yeah.
And I think that's about it. Have a great fucking day.